Hi. Welcome back. My name is Randall Davidson. We're doing a What Would X Do on the music of George Crumb, specifically his American Songbook. And we stopped literally in the midst of starting looking at the score, and I want to go return to that now. I want to quickly review what we've covered so that we are going to cover new stuff. I just want to quickly cover. So if anybody's getting this video in the middle, they'll still see what we were doing. So hold on just a second while I go through here. Boom. George Crumb. And now it's not at 1:45, now it's 3:15. We're working on our theme today is capturing ideas. And so we're going to look at this score by George Crumb. It is from his American Songbook. The River of Life is the name of the first volume. And we're looking at the first movement called Shall We Gather at the River? And we're specifically looking, just as we started this, was the harmonic motion and notation. I need to make sure you have your headphones on. This is a very low volume when we play the music. And we'll look at the PDF score that was sent out to you via email. And please make your sound settings right and the microphone off. Specifically, we're going to look at the river music under the seven. This is the 7 American Songbook books, and this is the River of Life, first book, and was finished in 2003. This particular song was finished in 2003. And it's interesting because he started Unto the Hills, and then he jumped back to writing A Journey Beyond Time and the River of Life, etc. And so it wasn't linear until he sorted out what he wanted first. Like all artists and composers, it's not always linear. You don't always start at the beginning and go forward. This is the Shall We Gather at the River movement, which is the first movement of the book. And here's the second stanza. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river, rather gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. River is clearly the idea all the way through this piece of music. And if you will look at the score, I'm going to back out of this and go to another document here. Hold on just a second. Bingo, bingo, bongo. There we go. There we are. This is the music, and you'll see the first 4 measures, incredibly slow tempo, but the sound of the river is depicted right away in this piece, and it goes on for quite a while. And you'll notice how he has arrows, and that's incredibly detailed notation. We were talking about the percussion 4-player is playing what instruments? I'm trying to look at very carefully, getting close. This is a very large tam-tam, which is a metal instrument like a gong in some ways. Play once only, omit during repetitions. So you only, the first downbeat, it's incredibly specific. The water gong is a klaxon, which is a cowbell, really, a very large cowbell, about the width of your chest. And she holds the cowbell by the klaxon by the handle, and then is taking 2 mallets and striking both sides of the mallet with these soft mallets. It's sort of a felt head on the mallet, and lowers it into water. And that changes the pitch and then pulls it out of water, and it raises the pitch. This lowers the pitch, and then when it comes out of the water, and it has this very haunting sound. I really do love the way he uses percussion, because it's so unusual sound and surrealistic. So this sound here, it's going up and down, is pianissimo, going to pianissimo to pianissimo. So again, what we were trying to listen to in the performance before was almost inaudible. And if you're in a performance in a real space with the performers, it's mesmerizing. Partly because it's so quiet, everyone leans forward a little bit and stops breathing very heavily. You just to hear the music. It really is powerful experience. But let's look at the score. What we're talking about in harmonic movement, harmonic motion, and harmonic rhythm is oftentimes we spend so much time thinking about what the voicing is for each chord, and we're paying attention to the chord and the voice leading. This is a very simple chord progression, but it's telling us that quarter note equals 40. The rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then that's another downbeat. So the pulse in this piece is meant to slow you down. And I would say every downbeat is 1. That slow. So he's forcing you to go way slow. And the harmonic movement is much quicker. The pulse is every downbeat. And I think he intentionally creates 13 quarter note. You'll see up here in the left-hand corner by the Roman numeral rehearsal 1. Rehearsal 1 is on the downbeat, and 13 over the quarter note is what the meter is of this river music. And I'm sure that George had a plan for why it was it's 13. I'm sure that there's some numerological reason for it, but it's definitely slow. You'll see that the glissando over the strings is also part of the special instructions. If the lowest note there, if you'll see that lowest note, Becca, I'd like you to try to count the ledger lines for this, the left hand of this piano part right here. What is that lowest note? A. Yes, it's an octave down from that A. So I think it is the lowest note. So, and it's pianissimo, so incredibly soft with the sostenuto pedal on, very slow, and a glissando over the strings using the FT. What does FT stand for? Do you remember that? Fingertip. So he's using the pad of the finger on the very lowest notes of the piano, very softly, running it along the strings on the inside of the piano. So that you can imagine this sound. If you can't hear it just now, because we have the ability to do too many things at once. Let me see if I can play the music while we are also listening to this. Watching the score. Can you hear the music? Lucas, can you hear the music? Let me change that a little bit. All right. I think it's going to be important to follow along here for the rhythm, the harmonic rhythm. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here just for a second. See you guys. Hi. There we are. I think you're going to have to follow on the PDFs, guys. Get your own PDFs on the score. And I'm going to go here. Oops. I don't want to do that. There we are. Follow on the score of the PDFs that I sent you on email. We're going to listen to this. Can you hear the music a little bit better this time? It's incredibly quiet, but it's a little bit better. You hear that cowbell going in and out of the water? I can hear it. So the downbeat is that fingertips going along the strings. You should be looking at the scores, PDF score that I sent you. That'll help. And we're going to come to the downbeat of 4, measure 4. We're at rehearsal 2. Rehearsal 3, I'm sorry. All right, I'm stopping right here. At measure 3, rehearsal 3, I'd like to point out that this is something you could not possibly do on Finale or MuseScore or anything else. This is something that is put together by hand, but it works perfectly well in hand copying. Do you get the score? Alex, did you get the score?
No, I think
Oh, you can do that, but we're going to be looking and talking about the score. Do you want to look at the score over here? You're okay. You're fine? Okay. So at rehearsal 3, you'll notice that there are arrows up and down from the singer, up from the tubular bells. Can you see it, Becca? Rehearsal 3. It's coordinated by the conductor. Now, what does the 5/8 mean? You see where that is? Right underneath the 3. What does that mean? Can you discern that? The singer is supposed to go dreamlike, musingly, gently drifting, but it's quarter note equals 60. But what's happened in the piano part with the cowbell going in and out of water, they don't change meter at all. They continue at quarter note equals 40. But at rehearsal 3, it's a faster tempo. And we can hear that being sung fairly easily, but it's very complicated rhythmically. It's a 5/8, 5 beats so maybe you could call it 15/16. You want to look at it that way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next measure of rehearsal 3 is in 4. 1, 2, river. And it keeps on. Where bright angels' feet have trod. Then in 4, At the top of the page 2, it continues along, and you'll see where these arrows are coming up from the other parts. You can see in the percussion 1, 2, and 3, it's played by different players. Percussion 1 is one player, second player is playing the bowed saw, and the third player is playing a wire brush over a tom-tom. So he is basically atomized the music. Conceptually, it's all one thing, but it's performance-wise, it's pushed out to each player has one instrument, and they have to create gestures coordinated off of each other. And that's what that arrow going up from the downbeat of one measure before 4, rehearsal 4. So this is the conceptually conceptually it's very easy, but the capturing of the idea in notation is particularly difficult because he's got 2 rhythms going on. And what his solution has been from the very beginning in the river music on page 1 is that it just continues at its own pace without changing and without being coordinated with everyone else. It doesn't need to coordinate. It just needs to continue its same pace, and they have an ensemble of one percussionist, number 4 percussionist, the pianist, and that's it. Just those 2 people. And you'll notice in the on the screen where the piano is. Oh, also the singer is right in front of the piano. And there's a conductor who's having to conduct all of these disparate groups. So there's percussionist number 1 on the screen. The singer's in the middle. Behind the singer is the pianist. But you have a conductor with just a whole stage of people. Now look at that setup, folks, just where you see on the screen. Does this remind you of any performance you might see this week? Like this Friday and Saturday? You've got lots of instruments on the stage, but there's not very many people on the stage. It's a lot of instruments and it's scattered across a wide area. This looks like one of our track drops, one of our performances where there's not very many people playing, but there's a ton of instruments on the stage. It's a very different kind of performance. Here's the wide view again. The percussionist 1 is all the way on the left, far on the right, left. Next to them is a percussionist 2. Percussionist 3 is playing the tubular bells, I think. And the 4th percussionist is way over on the far right. And they're supposed to be ensemble doing the river music with the pianist in the center and the 4th percussionist way over on the far side. No wonder we have a conductor. But you have to, because look, where would you crush that all on the stage? It'd be very difficult to get everybody sitting next to each other. They spread it out. We're between rehearsal 5 and 6 right now. We're about to hit rehearsal 6. And you'll notice that the percussion parts all the way through here, from rehearsal 4 through rehearsal 5 and up to rehearsal 6, do not have a meter. It's gestural. It's triggered by wherever the singer is. And the conductor is watching them, trying to keep them all together. But it is logistically, it's about the conductor just keeping a steady beat for the singer and then following the singer in their interpretation. Right before 6, there's a bit of a humming cadenza? No, just it's something that they get to basically do by themselves. She's singing, and then she changes keys at 6. And you can tell what her pitch is based on what's going on in the tubular bell. Listen. We're going to come up to rehearsal 7, and there's an arrow from the spring drum up to the singer's voice, and she follows. The downbeat is from the spring drum, and she sings God. There's a 3-second delay, and the conductor is going to be conducting both the third percussionist and the second percussionist to be at the same time attacked. The delicatissimo at circa 52. So he's changing not only the tempo of the piece, but also what's going to be happening next is going to be completely different. Here we go. Now, the significance of this high-pitched percussion going on. Have you ever gone to a Catholic performance, a Catholic church service, and they have a long rod with bells on it, and it's the presence of the transfiguration, transmogrification of the body of Christ into the bread of Christ. So that's what happens in the Catholic Church. So it's significant in that way. He's referencing that in this music. We're at 8. Now, the G sharp is in the tubular bells. I'm just going to go back just a second. So it's a very tonal tune, melody, but he keeps changing the tonal center, and it's sort of almost modulating. And the way he does that is with the tubular bell. Every time they enter, the soprano's changing pitches, the tubular bell hits the pitch that she's going to be singing. And we're coming up to rehearsal 9. It's a new tonal center. Listen to the bells. And if you look at 9, the singer is taking the pitch from the arrow down to the tubular bells, and the vibraphone percussionist 1 is trying to hit that B flat on the clef with the singer at the same time. That's why the arrow is pointing up. Again, they don't have a pitch. They're following, or a beat. They're following the singer. Next page. Here comes the tubular bells. Here comes another pitch change. And we're going to have a downbeat at 12 in the spring drum again. Single stroke pianissimo. They playing independently. The rhythms are not meant to go together. Coming up to 13. Right about now. You'll hear in the tubular bells, changing the pitch and the key for the singer. like a pitch pipe. Those tubular bells are like a pitch pipe.
Soon our happy hearts will quiver
Meanwhile, the pianist continues the river music. And the river music continues. Yesterday, I played Ives' unanswered question and this sort of timeless floating, not in the conception of time, it goes timeless. And that's what is being expressed by what's going on in this music. Can you hear it? Lucas, Becca? Barely. It's very soft. See how she's hitting using two mallets on either side of the tubular bell. She's lowering into the water. I don't think I could hear it if I didn't have earphones. What I'd like to do is to leave these scores for anyone who wants, and I'm saying anyone, Lucas, with you in mind, so that you can take this sometime today, tonight, and just hear the sonorities of the chords. These are the parts, but they are also the score. And it's ethereal. It's out of time, meaning not meant to be experienced as a pulsing experience, but, you know, with beats. It's meant to express something that's timeless. And so I find it really a compelling music, all the whole book. I've got the Microcosmos, I've got 5 pieces for piano, Journey Beyond Time, which is the second book, and this is the first book as well. So I'm going to leave it out in the dorm, or maybe I should leave it. What's a good place to leave it? I think I'll leave it in the green room, down in the basement, so you can take a look at it. And Becca, I think this would be something of interest to you too. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys later. Thanks, Vandent. Appreciate you coming. Take care.